ready. It's time to go.
Family has been here for centuries, and yet they treat us as if we just swam across the Rio Grande.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
And we gotta prove to the Mexicans how Mexican we are, and we gotta prove to the Americans how American we are. We gotta be more Mexican than the Mexicans and more American than the Americans, both at the same time. It's exhausting.
We're going to build the wall. We have no choice. We have no choice.
Our big story at 5, thousands rally at the state capitol for a day without Latinos.
Build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall.
The overall feeling here today was one of fear. Demonstrators telling us they're afraid of what these two pieces of legislation can do to them and to their loved ones.
Who's going to pay for the wall? 100%. By the way, 100%.
Hello rookies, today you are embarking on something new. Something not normally done in the Academy. We are doing this experiment for you young officers to get first-hand experience on what it's like to be a homicide detective. Due to this being an experimental case, and the fact that you are not official detectives, I will not be telling you my identity. A few nights ago, a man by the name of Kevin Hall was brutally murdered by whom we believe was one of his tenants. Mr. Hall was a landlord of the apartment complex Merciful Meadows on the 1900 block of El Rey Drive. We have brought 7 people into questioning, and so far we have 1 in custody. The 7 have pre-recorded their testimonies and answered the following questions. Who are you? Where were you the night of the murder? What is your relationship to Mr. Hall? And lastly, what do you know about the one tenant in custody, Luis Martinez? Here's some information that I am allowed to disclose. We do know Mr. Hall was murdered between 7:30 and 9:30 p.m. on Saturday, June 18th. Looking for evidence, we also found that his apartment had been vandalized and ransacked, and that whoever murdered Hall had beaten and tortured him prior to shooting him in the head. The bullet belonged to a Beretta 92 pistol. The pistol in question has yet to have been found. We believe the killer of this heinous act did not act alone. Perhaps they had an accomplice. Until further results come back from testing, we cannot confirm such suspicions. However, many sources seem to be pointing towards the one in custody, 23-year-old Luis Martinez. Before hearing his testimony, we must go through and analyze the 7 tenants from Merciful Meadows. Thank you for your cooperation, and let's begin.
Oh, hey, my name is Federico Gomez, but you can call me Fred or Freddy, whichever is easier. Most people just call me Freddy. So anyways, I moved into Merciful Meadows the first week of February. It was right after my girlfriend, well, my ex-girlfriend, right after she broke up with me. It was right before Valentine's Day. Can you believe that shit? But hey, plenty of fish in the sea, right? Am I right? Besides, you know what? There's one thing she had to understand. I do not want to be an assistant manager at a dry cleaner, man. And she doesn't like me being a Lyft driver. Forget all that. That's what I do. Yeah, the money was great as an assistant manager, but she's got to understand one thing, man. I want to be my own boss. All right? I miss her. Took that breakup pretty bad. But I can't let her hold me. Can't let this situation hold me back. keep moving forward. Right? And speaking of moving forward, I've been doing massage school for 3 weeks now. Got an online course, and they got a job placement program so that I can pay my grandma back because she let me borrow the money for the entrance fee. So, anyways, yeah, I'm all in, man. By this time next year, I'm gonna have my own business. Dig? Yeah. Then Erica's gonna want me back. I gotta get her back. And who knows? Maybe we'll start our own family business. I'll massage the women, she'll massage the men. I haven't figured out all the logistics yet. But I still gotta think about all that stuff. But that comes later. I just know one thing, and I know that we will be happy.
What's up, Holmes? How you doing? My name's Jesus Martinez, but my friends call me Speedy Gonzalez. Which is actually kind of weird and ironic, because I was always the slowest kid in school. It was also like I was, Porky the Pig, like, giggity, that's all, folks! Anyway, I had a really hard time growing up in El Paso, but I always had this dream of becoming a professional soccer player. And it all happened after I watched Bend It Like Beckham. After watching that classic, I started watching every league, especially the Mexican one. And my favorite team, right here, it was Chivas, man. Because I loved their red and white jerseys. And my favorite player, Omar Bravo. What a handsome man. Anyway, I realized that I couldn't quite become a pro soccer player, so I became the next best thing. A landscaper! Now, I know what you're thinking. What does landscaping ever have to do with soccer? Let me tell you, brother, it has a lot to do with soccer. You've got the grass. That's really it. But I found this really nice place in Los Valdes, an apartment complex, and I've been living there for 2.5 years now. And I love it because I can continue my passion for soccer. And I recently planted an artificial grass garden in my bedroom. I named him Felipe. Some nights I would just stand on Felipe and fantasize about the crowd chanting my name like, Speedy, Speedy, Speedy! One day, man.
Que lo que, my name is Jimmy. Bueno, people call me Jimmy. My name is Jibarito Carrión Vargas, pero nobody say Jibarito. I have 35 years old y yo soy mecánico de carro. Bueno, I'm a mechanic for the cars. Yes, I live here for 15 years. I'm working in cars and fixing things, so I fix a lot of things for people here in the building. They say, here the Jimmy, he fixes things for me, and they say, hey, Jimmy, come fix this thing for me. Y vaina así. La viejita, they always say, hey, you look so handsome, ya tú sabes, porque, yo soy guapo. But, everybody like me here because I always do things for everybody. I like cars and women and hookah, y ya tú sabes, y drinking. But I don't worry about nothing because I live alone, you see. Sometimes I throw party and make a noise, but I don't care because I pay the rent. I pay the rent, so nobody tell me what to do. Also, who don't like a Jimmy party? Everybody come to this, like Cabron Speedy, Luis, Rodrigo, his kid, the ladies, everybody coming.
My name is Lola Vasquez. I'm 26 years old and I work at a call center. But someday soon, you're gonna see me in telenovelas. I'm like what you call the gatekeeper of this community. Like, I keep my neighbors safe by knowing everything they got going on. Like, I know what time everyone gets home at night, I know who they're dating, and I also know when someone hasn't washed their clothes in a few weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know everything. I'm honestly like a saint. Like, people will come to me and they'll be like, oh my god, Lola, did you see what time Rodrigo got home last night? And then I'll be like, girl, not only did I see what time Rodrigo got home last night, I saw who he was with. I guess that makes me like pretty popular around here. And obviously everyone here knows that I'm gonna be like super famous one day. Like, I have acting classes every Wednesday and Friday night, and everyone there always says, wow, Lola, you're so good, you're gonna be in telenovelas one day. And like, I obviously take my craft super seriously, so I've been an extra in TV shows. And like, not to brag or anything, but the other day I had a big audition with a big telenovela agent. So like, things are looking up for me.
Hi, I'm Pamela Paula. Ever heard of me? I was in Flying Birds, Street Cats, Attack 2, Walk for Your Lives. It's a horror movie about people with arthritis. Anyways, I'm 26 years old. I'm an actress, influencer. I came all the way here from Staten Island to be a star. I've been living in Los Valdez and in Merciful Meadows now for about 7 years. You know, when I turned 18, my mother couldn't afford to send me to school, so I saved everything I could, and on my 19th birthday, I came all the way here. It's been 7 years now. You know, Brad Pitt got his start working as a chicken at Charlie's. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to serve food. No, I'm not like Ibarito or Jimmy or whatever that crackhead's name is. I'm just saying, I know my moment's coming. I know it's there.
What's up? My name is Rodrigo de Leon. I'm 26 years old and I work over there by James Street doing construction and shit. Well, I guess that makes me a construction worker, huh? And I don't really care so long as they gave me my paycheck and I get to go home. You know what I mean? There's no one there. I moved here when I was, yo creo como 7 years old with my mom. And this is actually her apartment. But when she passed, the landlord said I could actually live here for really cheap, which works out for me because I have a son and that food was expensive to take care of. Well, in honor of my mom, I named him after her, Maria Teresa Garcia de Leon, but I just call him Pendejo for short.
My name is Silvia Cervantes. I'm 21 years old and I'm an aspiring stripper. I was born and raised in West Palm Beach, Florida, and I'm a hairdresser. I mean, I've been cutting all kinds of hair since I was 14. And my mom owns Estética La Reina down by Delray Beach. You know what? I always thought that I was going to be a hairdresser just like her. But then one day I saw that movie where Salma Hayek is a stripper, you know, from dusk till dawn. And when I saw her in that bikini, draped with a snake, a fucking snake, that's when I knew what my true calling was. I knew my mom would never let me do it, so when I turned 18, I packed my bags and I moved to Los Valdez to make my dreams a reality. I even bought my first pair of tall-ass heels, and I broke my ankles trying to walk in them, which was probably for the best, you know, because truth be told, I'm no Salma Hayek with a snake. That's what Pam always says. Oh, she lives in the same apartment complex as me. And she really knows about this kind of thing, you know, like show business and all of that. I'm not supposed to say, but she's really famous. I mean, she's been in like 2 movies and everything. So, you know, she said that if I really wanted to get somewhere with dancing, I was gonna have to practice every single day. Man, we got a bunch of famous people here. I mean, there's Pam, who's, well, a superstar. And then we've got Lola, who's gonna be on a telenovela soon. And then Luis, he's a SoundCloud rapper. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds pretty. And then there's me. I'm really shy and sorta uncoordinated too. So, you know, I knew I had to get on it. And, you know, there are some really, like, nice people here because everyone was just so nice to me and let me give them practice lap dances. I mean, they're busy people with lives and kids, and still they were able to take time out of their day to let me put my tits in their face. I mean, it's so nice. Especially that Luis and Rodrigo. I mean, they are angels. They would let me give them 2 lap dances. Anyways, I ended up getting a job at the Supercuts that's 2 blocks away from the apartments. I mean, it's just temporary though, you know, until I build up the courage to schedule an audition. I've only been here 3 years, so, you know, this one time I almost got like really close to almost maybe scheduling an audition. So before you know it, I'm gonna be covered in snakes, just like Selma.
The night Mr. Hall died, I was actually washing clothes with my son over there at the laundromat. Yeah, I kinda had to be there since last time I let Jimmy take care of him. The little fucker almost drank the laundry detergent. Oh no, not Jimmy. My son. Yeah, sometimes I feel like a bad parent. But then I remember my parents. Anyways, we were on our way back to the apartment, you know, him talking baby, me talking adult, and all of a sudden we just see Luis just ran past us. He was covered in blood. Was it the murder? I don't know. Maybe he just spilled ketchup all over himself. You know, Luis has always been... But me, I was just worried that if I get blood over my clothes, I would just have to wash it again. I didn't want that.
Let me see. The day that old fucker died, yes. I wake up in the morning, you know, at 3 p.m. and I went to pick up Rodrigo kid. He come with me everywhere because, you know, his father went to get some milk or some shit. But good news, his dad always come back. Then I go to my home and I make some mangú con los 3 golpes and I feed the little kid some mangú. Then he play with my hookah. I let him play with my hookah because I'm not going to say no to the little kid. And it's not like he smoke it all the time. Then later, I go with the baby to the store and I buy some party essentials for the party later. And you know, some beer, some rum, some tequila, and some margarita for the ladies. Déjame ver. And then I go to this chick Pam house, yes. Porque Pam always asks me for fixing her shit. She always breaking stuff so I can come fix it. And I don't mean to brag, but she's kind of famous and she really into me. So I let her hold the baby while I fix her shit. Then I go home and you know, that annoying fuck Louis comes to my door and I thought he was just really early for the party. But you know what that dumbass wanted to show me? His new song that he could play at my party. Nobody want to listen to that shit. So I told him, take some dembow, make some bachata, and then come talk to me.
Things have gotten really fucked up here. I mean, I remember everything that happened the night Mr. Hall got murdered. I still can't believe it happened. I mean, I remember that I was closing up the Supercuts and I was in a hurry because it was almost 8 and I was supposed to do a practice lap dance on Luis before Jimmy's party, which is a pretty big deal for me because he's kind of like a stripper expert. Seriously. Like, he used to work security for the local strip club and he used to be one of their best customers. So I remember I was pulling up to the apartment and then I heard this loud crash and then I saw Luis running. And I remember thinking, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, he's standing me up.
Yeah, so I started working early that evening because one of my neighbors invited me to one of his parties. Jimmy, he's always throwing parties, which is kind of perfect for me because I get more clients that way. You know, that's it, more money. Anyway, yeah. So I also wanted to run into another neighbor, the girl from 268. I think it's like Sarah or Cynthia, Sylvia, something like that. It starts with an S. She's like this really pretty wholesome type, you know, like girl next door. I think she works for a costume shop or something. Yeah. Man, she reminds me of Erica when we first started dating. Anyway, yeah. So it was on my way to Jimmy's place, and I noticed Luis was moving towards me pretty fast. And he's always trying to get me to listen to his whack ass music, or was always asking for a ride. And just like expected, he asked me for a fucking ride. Do I look like a taxi driver? No. All right, I don't. Anyways, just like I expected, he's asked me for a ride, and since I learned to avoid his ass, I told him, "Not right now, bro. I gotta take a mean dump." And I ran back into my apartment, and he just yelled out "fuck," and he ran off somewhere. I don't know where he went. I just waited in my apartment like 5 minutes and made sure he wasn't around, and never saw him after that.
Alright, so get this. It was about 7 o'clock at night, and I was just trying to get some late night practice in, like a scrimmage or something. I tried asking Freddy, but I mean, he was just drunk touching himself, man, in places that no one should touch themselves. I just hope he's okay. I also tried asking that one girl who acts and stuff. I don't know her name. She's the better one out of the two. Anyway, she said no because she thought I was hitting on her. Can you believe that? If anything, she was hitting on me with that hard-to-get attitude. Anyway, right around 8 o'clock, Luis runs past me. And he's covered in blood. He either killed someone. Anyway, as soon as he ran past me, he said, "You didn't see nothing!" And he left. I couldn't deal with it anymore, so I finished practice and I went to my apartment and I just tended to Felipe.
Yeah, I know Luis. He stops by here and there. He stopped by last night. We had ourselves a little talk. Don't tell Lola, but he's gonna make me the lead girl in one of his music videos. You know, the one that's like the girlfriend and shit, Mira. And then he looked at the time and left as if he had something better to do. As if talking to me isn't important. The landlord died. Oh, was he murdered? Oh, is that why you're doing this thing now? Okay, it makes sense. I get it now. I get it. Do you think I did it? Look, I didn't come all the way here from Staten Island to be a murderer. I came here to be a star, okay? But I'm not surprised it happened. You know Mr. Hall dying? He was weird. He was awkward and small, you know? He'd look at me every time I went down to the pool. And I'm okay with that. I really am. It's paparazzi, you know? It's something I gotta get used to. But you do that to the wrong person and you know.
The night of the murder? Oh, well actually that was the night of like my big Asian audition. So before I got home, I stopped by a bar to get a few drinks with some of my friends from acting class. We danced a little, you know, like Vamos pa la playa. Oh my god, it was so much fun. And then, of course, I got home late that night. And then, oh, I remember actually, as I was like getting home, I saw Louise coming out of Mr. Hall's apartment. I didn't think much of it, but I did think it was like a little weird because it was like really late, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, Mr. Hall was dead the next day, so it makes one's head wonder. If this was a telenovela, I might be getting a little concerned. But that's just me.
So, now we're getting to the carne asada and frijoles of the matter, eh? The life before the death of Mr. Hall. Well, you know what? I say good riddance, cause he was a jerk, always talking down to everyone, especially me. You know what he would say to me? As Pablo the ice cream guy made his rounds around in that truck, you know what he would say? He'd say, Speedy, why don't you run over there and get me ice cream? He knows I'm slow and lactose intolerant. Anyway, we always had a bit of a language barrier because whenever he would go on and on about his football skills, I would just bring a soccer ball so that he could show me some. But he'd say, it's not that damn sport, you dumb Mexican. How was I supposed to know the difference? Then one night, he has the audacity to pull a surprise inspection in my house, my apartment. He goes over to my bedroom, he gets closer to Felipe, and he proceeds to rip a piece of Felipe off. How are you just gonna do that to some baby flower, some baby garden? But I guess that's always how I knew Mr. Hall. As the mean, old, racist dude who always thought he was better than you.
Mr. Hall. What could I say about Mr. Hall? I mean, shit, I didn't even know that was his name in the first place. To me, he was Mr. Landlord, or creepy white guy. I didn't know him as Mr. Hall. I met him 7 years ago when I rented out the place. He doesn't talk much, at least to me anyways. Instead, he likes to stare, he likes to look at you. I think he judges you. He gives you that vibe. The one that your tia told you to stay away from. One of my first days when I moved out here, I was in the show. I asked him to come. You know what he says to me? Let me give you your first line. You want fries with that? I didn't like it. But he gave me a good deal on the rent, so here I am. Plus, he keeps the bushes nice and trimmed, so that's nice. You know what? That could be Speedy. He's always inspecting the trees and shit.
Mr. Hall was a racist, plain and simple. When I first moved into the building, he thought like I was white, so he was nice and all. He even helped me move in. That all changed when he heard me speak Spanish when I was preparing for an audition. After that, he started checking up on me for every little thing, like if I was by the pool too much or if I spoke on the phone too loud. Who does that? A fucking racist, that's who. But that's not even the worst part. I had a cat. I didn't know that we weren't supposed to have pets, but then he found out. I don't know how, someone snitched on me, and ooh, I bet you anything it was Pam, all because I got cast in a play and she didn't. Anyway, I love my cat. I had her since she was like little and everything, and Mr. Hall made me get rid of her. I said that I would fight him. I threatened to sue him, but then he said that he was gonna evict me and keep my security deposit. I hate him. I hate to say it about a dead person, but like, he got exactly what he deserved.
Ooh, Mr. Hall. That guy, he's quite the character. And by character, I mean racist, if you know what I mean. Like, for example, the last week, I was headed to my car, and I saw him in the parking lot. And, I said hello, just trying to be polite, normal person. And just out of nowhere, he said something like, "Oh, how do you fit your entire family in that car?" What the fuck, do you know? Say shit like that, man. And then just the other day, I think it was like Tuesday or something, I told him about my AC not working. And this motherfucker tries to tell me that oh, it's probably all the beans you cook. Yo, you don't talk to fucking people like that, man. I don't get down like that shit, eh? Fucking. Excuse me. That's unprofessional. You don't talk to people like that. The guy's a dick. Well, was a dick.
You know, despite what everyone else says, I don't really hate Mr. Hall. Sure, he's racist and called me every single slur you can think of, but ever since my dad left and my mom passed from maybe Mr. Hall felt bad. He said I could stay here for really cheap, and I did plan on moving out. But ever since my son has been born, I've just been stuck here.
Mr. Hall was our old, white, mean landlord, and I'm pretty sure we all wanted him dead. Pero pues, que descanse en paz, el gringo hijo de su puta madre, racista culero. I'm sorry. I don't like to say mean things about people no more because Pam taught me about karma. Pam taught me about karma, and I don't want to end up dead like Mr. Hall. But with all due respect, I have every right to hate him because whenever the girls were out sunbathing or by the pool or something, I would always catch his nasty, pervert ass staring at them from the little window in his office. So naturally, I thought, perfect! Another person to help me practice, you know? So one day, I put on my hottest outfit and I went and I knocked on his door. And he opened it and he said, "What do you want, slut?" A slut! He called me a slut. Oh my god, I was so giddy. You know, finally, a step in the right direction. So, instead of saying something back, I just took off my top. And you know what that gigantísimo hijo de puta did? He slammed the door in my face. I've never been more humiliated in my entire life. So fuck that karma shit. I'm glad he died.
Mr. Hall, that fucker lives right under me. That man can kiss my ass. Always complain. "You're too loud, too late for party. Pay your rent, you're 3 months behind, and stop smoking." Nobody wanna hear that shit. I pay my rent, don't worry about it. He say, "All you Spanish people make too much noise." I don't care, I pay the rent, so don't worry about it. He say, "I'm the landlord, so you have to follow rules." Or some shit, pero I don't care, I pay the rent. Pero like Cincinnati, I don't have to pay the rent, right? I'm just saying, listen, I finally nobody call the police at my party. I mean, if you want, you can come tomorrow night to my party. You know where I live, right? right upstairs from that Mr. Mamagüevo Hall.
Oh, the homie Luis? Nah, he ain't that bad. Sure, he's a little sketchy, but he means well by selling drugs to the people in need. Like that one soccer player who has a little garden going in his place. Yeah, he could really use some of Luis's stuff. I first met Luis over there in the orphanage by James Street. He was dealing drugs, not to the kids though, to the staff. I was building a pool for Mr. Hall's cousin, Mr. Room. Get it? Nah. His name was actually Stewart. This was way before my son was born. I saw Luis back at the apartments. I thought he was a stalker, but turns out he was another tenant and my next door neighbor, actually. Yeah, crazy. He asked me to join his gang, but I already subscribed to his SoundCloud, and man, that's way too much of Luis. Come to think of it, he was actually trying to grow weed over there at his apartment. I don't know who snitched him out, but Mr. Hall found out, and that was like the last straw. They got into a huge shouting match and a huge fight. Everyone in the apartments heard it. The last thing I hear was Mr. Hall saying, "You filthy Mexican, you're out of here." And then Luis was like, "Not until you leave first."
I've known Luis for about 1.5 years now. And I didn't always hate him, you know. We were actually pretty good friends once upon a time. Sometimes we would go to the park and play some soccer, or some days I would just go over to his house and listen to some of his music. Granted, his music was about as good as my soccer skills. It didn't matter to me, because we were chill like that, man. But everything changed as soon as Rodrigo came into the picture. I mean, sure, Luis was still the same asshole to everyone, but he was different, you know? I mean, they hung out more and more, which meant that we hung out less and less. And then pretty soon, Luis wouldn't even share a passing glance with me in the hall. So do I think that Luis killed Mr. Hall? Of course! Por supuesto! He would always come in and out of that apartment below mine. You know, the demo apartment that Mr. Hall used to show tenants to? He would always check if he was being watched or something. Come to think of it, I saw Freddy come out of there once. He was holding his massage oil in his hand and... he just looked disgusted, you know? I hate how things ended up between me and Luis. I just hope that one day we can work things out.
Luis is a hot mess, plain and simple. Like I said, I know everything about everyone in this complex, so yes, he deals drugs here and there, but it's petty shit. He likes to pretend that he's in a gang or something. He thinks it gives him street cred or something. Anyway, I first met Luis when I moved into the building. Us artists just kind of gravitate towards each other. I actually think he's pretty good at what he does. I mean, not like me, I'm obviously a professional, but he's pretty good. I was even one of his first 5 subscribers on YouTube. Anyway, at first, he would help me get ready for auditions and everything, but then he started hanging out with Pam, so he started ignoring me, and I was like, fine, I don't care, but I still kept an eye out for him. Like I said, us artists gotta stick together. Anyway, he and Mr. Hall hated each other. Mr. Hall hated that Luis was selling drugs, but he could never prove it. Mr. Hall wasn't the smartest, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes he'd straight up just go up to Luis and accuse him, and that's when Luis would really snap and they would really get into it. I kept my distance. But I definitely overheard Luis threaten him multiple times. I'm not surprised he killed him or anything. I'm not supposed to say that, huh? That's hearsay or something? I saw it in a telenovela once. Anyway, Like I said, Luis is a hot mess, but he's a sweet kid.
I met Luis at one of Jimmy's parties. I was wearing my black lace dress and my shoe pumps. And he comes up to me and he says, "You look like you have a lot of experience with the camera." Ah! I know, right? Ooh, Luis was talented. Really talented. You know, he wrote me this song. Pam, you are my star. Talent will take you far with the looks of a queen. You're always in my dreams. Whenever, forever, you and me together. If ever I had a pet tarantula, I name him after you, my beautiful Pamela. It was the sweetest thing anyone has ever done for me. But I'm not surprised. Or he did it. You know, I might have done it. Luis had a temper. A bad temper. And you know, he didn't like Mr. Hall. He didn't like Mr. Hall. I don't know why he hated him so much. It was like he just did. But even though he was kind of an angry person, just deep down, he just wasn't that way.
Luis, he's a fun guy. He all good, pero sometimes he too much. Siempre jodiendo. He good people at the party and he always bring beer. He know the way to a man's heart. I only had to kick him out one time, but not for something too bad. He just wanted to play his SoundCloud rapper on the speaker. So technically, yeah, it was something too bad. And he always trying to sell me his CD. So I buy one because I know nobody want to buy that shit. But I told him, come work with me so he can stop making bad music and stop selling too much drugs. He could get into a lot of trouble for that shit, you know, that's what I say. So I tell him I only buy a little bit for the party, but that's it. I buy so I can help the cholo out, but I can't buy too much because I have to pay my rent. But that's it, I don't buy nothing. And even if I did, es legal, cabrón. So go play with yourself.
Truth be told, I'm really sad about Luis. I mean, he really wasn't a bad guy, you know? And at the end of the day, we're all family here. And Luis has really helped me out. I mean, he even said that he would put in a good word for me at the strip club he works at, and I really needed that too. I mean, Luis was always super nice to me, especially when he got super drunk. But God, it's so shocking when you find out somebody you know murdered someone. Although I'm not surprised, because Luis, he would always say that if we ever got together, he would murder this pussy. Which always sounded kind of violent to me, but I guess it was just a matter of time before he murdered something or someone.
You know, when I first moved here, one of the first things that stood out was Mr. Hall and Luis arguing, bickering about something. And to be honest, I thought Luis was a solicitor of some sort. It wasn't until I had my first encounter with him that I actually realized he lived here in the complex. And ever since then, I've always had a bad vibe about him. Like one time he asked me for a ride, and I told him I couldn't because I was on my way to pick up my first customer, and I couldn't veer away from the route. But he insisted that I just drop him off wherever I was going. It's weird, you know? But me trying to be the nice guy, I complied and took him, which was a bad idea because he left my car stinking of marijuana and body odor, which my customers later complained about. So I learned my lesson, never again. Not only that, I had a picture of Erica in a cup holder in the back seat that I just have. It's mine. Okay, that's it. We'll leave it at that. I know that fucking horny stoner took it. And on top of that, speaking of weed. The guy's always trying to sell me some. But it's always dirt weed, man. It's like, it's got sticks in it, it's got seeds, it's all just it's a bottom shake of it, you know. I know what good weed looks like, homie. I used to know somebody who sold it. And besides, I don't smoke weed. I don't do edibles. It's legal now. But you know, even after everything I just said, I will say this: the guy was always on my side. Whenever I talked to Mr. Hall, Luis would automatically take my side, regardless of what we were talking about. We didn't have to be arguing; he just automatically took my side. When I went to Mr. Hall's office and told him about my AC, I could hear Luis from across the pool yelling out, "Don't expect him to fix anything on me. Just tell him you're gonna call OSHA. That'll get his old ass moving." So that was kind of cool of him. And then when Mr. Hall finally actually fixed my AC, he as he was leaving my apartment, I could see Luis downstairs. He was doing like the little finger gun thing, like he was gonna fucking shoot you, kill you, scap your ass, catch peel, rat the tat. You know what? I really didn't like him. I really didn't like him. I really didn't like him.
Alright, rookies, we just saw the testimonies from our 7 suspects. Now these suspects will join us all together and answer some follow-up questions provided by some of you rookies.
Yeah, dude. Well, the detectives want to know one thing. Starting off with you, Speedy.
Oh.
You ever bought any drugs from Luis, man?
Well, it's actually a funny story. You know, there is one time I actually did buy drugs from Luis, and it was actually to celebrate Felipe's first birthday. And let me tell you, I mean, it was a crazy time, man. Like, it was me, it was Luis, and it was Felipe. And believe it or not, Felipe smoked all of us out. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, the next day we woke up in some random place and we didn't know where we were. Yeah, first and last time I ever bought drugs from Luis, man.
Were you guys like close?
Me and Luis, yeah, hell yeah, we were close. I mean, bro, we were like this. We were like two frijoles, and you know, I mean, we were inseparable until that jerk Rodrigo came in and ruined everything.
Whoa. What do you mean? Well, stop calling me a jerk, you know, just because you're mad because he chose me over you.
Man, you came in and you just tore everything apart, right? Luis thought you were so special for some reason, and then we stopped hanging out because apparently he wanted to hang more with the lazy, poor excuse for a father that you are, okay?
What? Oh, you just not did that. You just not call me a lazy excuse. Hey, at least I don't stand on the thing that I love. I love my son. You stand on your plans. Who stands on the thing that I love?
No. Felipe lets me stand on him, okay? And at least I don't leave Felipe with random people, okay?
Listen, if we're talking about it, because the detective asked que Yuki was at my party. Yuki, I see your kid at my party. You don't have 2 kids because I only take care of 1.
So Jimmy loves Mari. Don't you, Jimmy?
Yeah, whatever. We all know you just dump him on Jimmy because you're never around, okay?
Well, that's.
Bro, I honestly thought that was Jimmy's kid, man.
You see?
Basically.
Your kid loves Jimmy more than he loves you, okay? At this point.
No, that is not true.
Okay.
Your player doesn't even love you at all, I bet you.
No. Felipe gives me tons of love, okay? and I give him love back. Okay.
Where is he, huh?
Jeez.
Where has he been?
Where's Maria? Where's Maria, huh?
All right, let's just move on to the next question. What
Yeah,
does
yeah.
the detective have to
Yeah.
say?
Let's.
Just avoiding the topic. Okay. Where was I when Mr. Hall died? I was in my apartment. Like I said in my testimony, detectives, I met with Luis. He made me the lead girl in his music video. And then afterwards he left. Like he had something better to do. But I was tired from our visit, so all I did was I just got a good night's rest. So in the morning I was ready for the music video. I was ready for my debut.
All right.
Well, okay. I mean, hopefully the music video does better than your straight to DVD movies. But I mean,
Okay,
hey,
all right, Speedy. You know what? You know what? What are you in the movie, huh? You're too busy talking to Felipe all the time, and you're gonna come after me. No, detectives. That was the last time I saw Luis. Was when he came to my apartment that night, and that's what we talked about. Was the music video.
You look great, by the way, Kim.
Thank you, Fred.
Get her number.
Oh, this is a
Shut
good
up, dude.
detective. Freddie, does your ex-girlfriend know Luis?
No. She does. She actually, we broke up, and that's when I got kicked out of her apartment. I left her apartment, and I moved into Merciful Meadows.
You left or you got kicked out?
Oh, I left on my own terms.
Because it's two different things. You say I kick out, and then you say I left.
You just left.
I just left. It was on my own terms. Yeah.
You wanted to leave?
Yeah. No. Yes. No.
Okay.
It depends on how you look at it. To be honest, it's complicated, and I really don't want to get into it because it still hurts. I'm not gonna lie, it still hurts.
Okay. Well, it's been like a year and a half now, so I don't know. I mean,
it's been more.
Come
than
on,
a
bro.
year and a half. We can all.
Has it?
Why do you guys have to? Why do you guys have to keep bringing this up? You know how much I've been dealing with because of this.
It's okay.
Freddie, we don't mean to pry at you, man. It's just you gotta get over it, okay? There's more fish out there for you.
Please move on to the next question.
Yeah, we don't want to see you crying all the time.
Yeah. Please
There's
don't
many
cry.
different kind of fish. There's
Many different
bacalao, there's tilapia, there's salmon.
Piranhas, sharks.
So I feel like I should answer. The detective wants to know if I can prove my whereabouts at the time surrounding Mr. Hall's death. Like I said in my testimony, I had a really big agent audition, so that's where I was for the first part of the night. And then the last part, I was at a bar with some friends. So, like, I guess if you were to like question them, they could like prove it. But right now, like, you're not questioning them, so I guess my word should be enough.
Listen, Chismosa can prove everybody whereabouts because Chismosa talks about everybody.
Like, that's such a negative term, and I do not want to be.
That is what you are. You can say I don't like Chismosa because I'm a Chismosa.
I am not a chismosa. I take care of people. Okay.
Definitely taking care of.
Somehow you didn't even know that. There have been many times where you were at the apartment.
Okay, Jimmy, let's talk about you. Were you drunk the night? Wait, what is it? Jimmy, were you drunk the night Luis died? I think they met Mr. Hall, right?
Mr. Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you something because I'm drunk every night. I don't care. It's a party every night. I don't really care. I drink it. When I die, I'm going to be drinking, okay? Because it's a party every day.
Oh, hey, life's just a party.
Ya tú sabes cómo es la vaina.
He's drunk right now.
Drunk right now, even on the testimony.
That's another good question, Detective Rodrigo. When you saw Luis running with the blood on his shirt, why didn't you stop him? He's your friend.
Hey! I wasn't the only one that saw him running with the blood, so why blame me? Just
why are you asking the question?
Well, you were also one of his friends, and
I didn't
you two
see him
spent a lot of time together.
Okay, and
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So he was much with you than me.
Are you guys kind of like a thing, like you and Luis, Pam? I mean, you guys
Yeah,
really
he made
spend.
that love poem for you.
I don't know. I mean,
Me
you'll
and
be.
Luis, we are partners. We are
Ah.
collaborators on artistic stuff, on music videos,
Partners, huh?
and my
Oh,
acting.
partners.
Not collaborators on a murder. Okay, I didn't have nothing to do with it. He came over. We talked about the music video, and that was it.
But that poem that he did for you, you said that was the sweetest thing that he ever done.
Well, yes, it was. It was.
Well, I just want to say that the quality of Luis's work has really gone down ever since he started like collaborating with you.
Oh, okay, Lola. You're just.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Guys, I think I speak for everyone when I say Luis's work was always downhill, even before he started hanging out with Pam and doing the stuff that he does.
Oh yeah, his stuff was always bad.
Wait.
Yeah, I mean,
hold on.
You guys are.
Speaking of Luis again, what Rodrigo? Why when you saw him with him covered in blood, why did you stop him?
For real?
Like I said, I was washing the clothes with my son. I was with my son that day, and I didn't want to like just get myself all messy and everything.
But your son was
like
with
when my
Jimmy
kid
that
taking care.
night.
Yeah.
No, I was with my son.
Wait
Jimmy
a minute,
said
wait.
that. Okay.
Someone's lying here, okay? Because the detectives are asking you, Rodrigo, whether or not you had your son. Because Jimmy states that he has your son.
I have a son. I have a son.
I had
So
a son.
who's lying?
I have my son. I had my son. If you
And
didn't,
Speedy
if you
and
listened to
Freddie,
Jim's
you
previous
was
statement,
there.
Yeah,
I was there
remember
with my
seeing
son.
Maria like passed out drunk at Jimmy's party the night Mr. Hall was killed. So
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I mean, he
say
was
that.
sleeping. He was sleeping.
He was peacefully sleeping after hanging out with Jimmy. Remember when Jimmy has the statement? I picked him up at 3.
I wake up at 3.
Jimmy said, I always come back and just like the carton of milk.
Oh, okay.
So I was with his son.
She said my statement cannot be validated because I inebriated. But that's not true because I inebriate every day. I inebriate myself every day. So I'm okay with inebriation.
Okay. I think the detectives might have a question with Lola and Pam. How often do you guys like compete or go for the same parts? You know, I mean,
random.
Okay, sure. Okay. I would like to address this first. So, like, first of all, it used to happen a lot more in the beginning, but ever since I became like a true professional, it happens less and less because one of us practices like real art form, and the other one does straight.
Okay, Lola. So sure. No, we don't collaborate together because let's just say it's artistic differences and we like to go for different parts. You stick your little telenovelas and I'll go out and do my movies, okay?
Sure.
Wow.
Sure. Were you the one that got asked to be in the music video? Maybe that's why you and me aren't friends anymore.
Whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna move on from that because your comments don't warrant a response from me. So to answer the detective's question, who asked if those friends that I refer to are Luis, no. Like, I have other friends, and they are my friends from my acting school.
Then how come you've never introduced us to them if they're really your friends?
You're not good enough.
I like to keep my professional life separate from my personal life because I am a professional.
What? Are we not good enough for your friends? Is that what you're saying here?
Yeah, dude, just like
wow.
Not like us.
A completely different like world, okay?
Oh, okay.
No. Hey guys, the detectives have the one last question. How would you guys kill Mr. Hall?
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn.
Fuck, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I'd run his ass over. To be honest, fuck that guy.
Okay.
I'm not gonna stand him. I mean, I'm not gonna do it. Well, I can't anymore. But I'm just not. I wouldn't do it. It's just that's how I would have done it.
Jimmy, how would you do it?
Oh, me, wait, dame ver. Because I don't have to do a lot to kill Mr. Hall. Listen, Mr. Hall, he gonna die from the stress from my party. My party, too low, you're too low, Jimmy. Oh no, I cannot take it. And then he have a heart attack, and he don't bother me no more.
Okay.
What about you, Speedy? You're talking, but you won't say how you would kill him.
Yeah, hey, whoa. Okay, you know you want to know how I'd kill him? Okay, fine. First, I'd hit him over the head with a shovel. Okay, and then I'd bury him. All right, I'd bury him.
And you're under
Okay.
Felipe?
Oh.
Right under Felipe, so that Felipe can get some payback.
That is not a good way to treat your children like that. You guys got it all wrong, all messy. You know how I would do it? I would make it look like a suicide, but it would be nice and clean. I would suffocate him with a pillow or something. No one would ever know. No one would ever know.
Don't say too much because Chimosa listening.
Oh, yeah. She might use that against you.
I told you not to call me a chismosa, okay? So like I wouldn't kill him. I would hire someone else to do it for me, okay?
Anyway,
Anyway, Rodrigo has been quiet, so like I want to hear from him.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just basically shoot him. You know, it's simple. Just go over there.
Wait.
He actually died.
Oh, wait, okay. Why are y'all asking surprise? Looks like I'm not the only one who mentioned guns. Freddie over here just mentioned guns earlier. Now that I mentioned it, you guys are all.
Freddie,
but
you're mentioning a gun. You're the one mentioning a gun.
Yeah, that's like really weird.
Freddie also went pew on your testimony.
Yeah, but that was it figuratively. It wasn't literal. Like
Figuration.
Yeah, surely if anyone would believe that.
Rodrigo loves to deflect the questions, always deflect on other people. You know what? I think you're the one that did it.
You're a construction worker, and you wanted to shoot him?
You cannot do this. No. Listen. You can't say you think somebody did it because you know everything. Listen, Pamela, if you know everything, then why don't you make a better movie if you know everything, okay? Because the only person here who know everything is Lola.
I thought we were friends.
We're friends, but you can't say that. You sound stupid.
I'm not the one that said I would do Mr. Hall.
Because it's
Oh,
over here.
Come on.
Video here was always.
You call her.
I gotta say,
you want to talk now, but you don't talk to nobody.
Maybe it was.
I gotta say, I feel like you might have.
Hi, hola. I am Luis Martinez. I am 23 years old. Don't really know what else you want me to say. The verdict's in, no? I mean, I know who you talked to. Also, I've been there, man. The wall's talk, vato, and I know what they said about me, so. Go ahead. Put the handcuffs on me right now. Guess I got time to save my ass, right? That's why you're making me do this. My birthday is January 13th. When I had just turned 18, I still had a few months left of high school before I graduated, and everything was going good for a minute. I was gonna go to college. I had a scholarship, and I was gonna go in for music producing. You know, it sounded cool, right? Like that's what I wanted. That's all I wanted, actually, was to just fucking make music. And I still do, and I do plan on going to college. Not that I'm sure that's any of your concern, but we'll go. But what happened about a month after my birthday in February, in February I lost my mom and my dad. They had been deported and sent to Tijuana. And I was alone. You know, we always joke about Latinos having like the biggest families and shit, but I didn't. I had my mom and I had my dad, and that was about it. That was all the family that I had. They were gone. According to the state, I was an adult, so, you know, I could just live where I wanted to, but I didn't feel like an adult. I felt like a child still, you know. I was couch surfing at like friend's house up till graduation. And then after graduation, I lived with the homie Josh for a bit. Josh sold drugs, like hardcore shit. Not just weed, you know, and he let me help him out. Eventually I started learning more and more and just sold my own shit. Started selling weed. Once I had made enough money, you know, I moved to the complex and, well, I'm sure, you know, they fucking say the rest is history, you know. I met Mr. Hall, he didn't like me, I didn't like him, and we've been inseparable. Can I ask you a question? If someone like me dies, do you do this much work? Do you really get in 7, 8 people? You know what I mean? Make them give testimonies, have people like me in custody. Do you really do this if someone like me was to die? Me being, you know, a tenant, not a landlord like Mr. Hall, because Hall's, you know, rich. He's a landlord, I'm not, you know. So do you? Because it seems like if one of us tenants die, we just get, you know, that 2-minute spot on the 10 o'clock news like we have been for about the past couple of fucking years. You know, I saw the vans and I saw the news stations all coming to interview people and all, what the hell happened? Who killed this innocent man? That fucking word innocent. He's only innocent because he's dead. So yeah. Do you do this much work? Because normally, it seems to me that whenever one of us tenants die, we just get that hashtag on Facebook and all the other fucking social medias. You know what I'm talking about, right? Hashtag long live my homie. Hashtag justice for whoever. I'm fucking sick of those hashtags. Because a hashtag is a story that was refused to be told, and so now we're just trying to tell it. And I'm tired of that. I'm tired of our stories not being told and nothing being done. Because once our stories get out there, then what the fuck do you do? What do you do? Do you do the same investigation that you are doing now for me? For another fucking tenant? Because so far, it only seems like only us tenants give a damn. So do you really do this much fucking work? I didn't do it alone either.
I spoke to my dad the other day. The court said he has 7 years. You know he wouldn't be there, right, if it wasn't for Hall? Before you moved here, Hall and my dad used to be best friends. They used to play poker every Saturday night, and Hall actually used to eat with us, the family. All that changed once you guys started saying shit to my dad. Once everyone started saying shit to my dad like he's Hall's bitch and he's a traitor, that's when my dad got fed up. He told me and my mom that he's finally gonna be there for the people and say shit to Hall. What you guys thought of him?
That's bullshit. If your dad was really there for us, he would have done something earlier. If he was so buddy-buddy with Mr. fucking Hall, then he would have been saying something to him instead of waiting like he did.
We never really had beef with Hall, alright? It was you guys that did. My dad used his privilege of getting an actual conversation to say what you guys wanted to say to Hall. But once he said that, Hall just told him to leave. Hall said, you fucking beaners are all the same. Why the fuck should I believe you? Once he started saying shit about the family, that was it for my dad. My dad took one swing at Hall, and one swing is all it took to knock Hall down. A phone call later, we're getting shit like they told us that my dad just walked in on Hall, threatened him, and assaulted him. And they found drugs on him? That's bullshit, man. They charged him with aggravated assault. Ever since that day, I've been really wanting to get my hands on Hall.
Then why wait? Tomorrow night, you and me will have a talk with Mr. Hall.